Manny, what'd you think of the fights tonight, brother?
Pretty impressive tonight, eh, Jerry?
Ooh,
God, them
it was a night
guys,
of violence.
big time. And, Canelo proved that he is probably, as they quote, pound for pound, maybe the best.
It was like a brick of concrete, just boom, that was just firing out. And it was like he was hitting a heavy bag. He'd go in and he didn't sit down between the rounds.
I know.
I
Wasn't
mean,
that amazing?
that's looking at the guy going, I ain't tired, motherfucker.
Now that takes a guy's will to win away.
Mm.
And now the psychological ploy of that, I mean, you can't beat it. And the way Canelo, like you say, he's like a freight train, man. He comes forward, but he's not so easy to hit, man, because he's rolling those punches. He's rolling with everything, and he's impenetrable, and he rolls with it. He pulls back. He rolls with his head. Like he's got so many great defenses, eh?
He was smooth. He was so smooth, and somewhat a smaller guy fighting a taller guy needs to get inside, and he was fighting a perfect fight. The first round, I gave it to Smith, but he was a little bit busier. But after that, Canelo got busier and busier, and he got stronger and stronger and more relentless. And I felt sorry for Callum Smith. I really did. He was getting beat up. He
Because
just
Callum Smith, every time he threw a punch, man, he was getting banged up back. And what's a great thing about Canelo, it took him like that one round, and then he snuck his front foot in. I don't know if you noticed, but they were banging feet every once in a while
yeah.
because, the way you cut a guy's distance away is you get your front foot close because then you can reach him. But, he's back, but his front foot's there, so he can just lean in and use his waist. And that's such a fast pendulum that goes forward and back. And Canelo could get in and out so quickly. And then every time, like, he'd pull the punches, and then punches would just go right by him. And then after a while, Callum Smith didn't know what to do, really. Like, what do I do? Throw a hook? And then near the end of the fight, he was setting Canelo up for a left hook, but Canelo had already figured it out. And then they were sort of high-fiving each other. And near the end, they were talking to each other.
That was
Remember
cool.
that? Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, it was
Built
funny.
with respect.
Canelo threw that. It was beautiful. He came in. He came in with a fake jab and boom, and went up with that
Uppercut.
uppercut.
Oh,
Whoa!
yeah.
I was like,
That's
nice. That was nice. He was just powerful. He was. Yeah, Smith was. I mean, I give him all respect that he's a world champion, but he was out of his league. Smith or Canelo was. Wow, man, he was powerful.
Canelo's just one step ahead, like it seems like that Floyd Mayweather match that he lost, well, it was rather close, but he lost the match. That taught him so much about boxing, about the intricacies of it and how to take a guy's will away. And you take a guy's will away by making a miss and then making him pay. And man, did he do that. And he did it over and over again. And you got to give it to Callum Smith, man, because around the ninth round, I thought, man, this could be it. Like he's getting pounded, yet he came back and tried his best, and got to give him a lot of credit for hanging in for the 12 rounds.
Yeah, and his corner was they were asking him, "I'm gonna call the fight. I'm gonna call the fight." He's like, "No, no, 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 don't call him." Yeah. I bet he's hurting right now. He's in bed
That's a
hurting.
true fighter. Well, did you see his arm when he walked out? His arm was all swollen up, eh?
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
might be a torn bicep from a punch. Can you imagine
yeah.
tearing a bicep from a punch? That just goes to show how powerful this Canelo really is. Like he's got some intent in all those shots, like those uppercuts, those hooks, those right hands. He's a complete fighter. It's not like he's a left-handed dominant or a right-handed dominant. He's a both-handed dominant, man.
It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Pretty
Yeah, I agree.
dangerous. Yeah.
So yeah, what's next for him, right? Like the night before Triple G fought, and that's what they're trying to clash those two together for the third time, right? So it'd be interesting. I don't think Triple G has a chance because he's 38 years old and going downhill, whereas Canelo's 30 years old going uphill. So I don't really sure what's next. What could be next for Canelo? I mean, there's no real other match that can make him the type of money that Triple G can make him because they'll build that match up as because Triple G, even though it was a draw, a lot of people thought, including myself, thought that he won the first match, whereas the second match could have gone Canelo's way. So this would be kind of like the rubber match.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Boxing is a funny thing, but I don't think it was a coincidence they put the Triple G match the night before from Florida, and then the following night Canelo fights. I don't think that was a coincidence. I mean, that was
Tease,
purposely done to promote it, I believe, and
tease of what's to
I wouldn't
come.
be surprised if that's the next big promotion. That Matchroom, it seems like it's one of the top promoters in the world now from England there, at that Eddie Hearn. The reason I think it was kind of a setup to build the promotion too is they didn't put like a knockout artist or a great boxer in against Triple G on Friday night. They put in a Saramenta, his name was, and he was 23-0, I believe, with 5 knockouts. So he didn't really have a puncher's chance. But what it did is it made Triple G look spectacular because he was the type of opponent that was there to fight, but it couldn't really hurt you. So it's like, not to take anything away from Saramenta, but he was kind of like a moving punching bag. And Triple G was able to get hooks off, get uppercuts off, and look really good doing it. He looked powerful last night. So I think that's part of the plan is, oh yeah, well, look at Triple G. He's the best fight he's had in years, and Canelo just beat the best super middleweight in the world. So let's clash those two together for the rubber match, you know? And I think Triple G looked good, man. Triple G, you know, he executed well. What do you think, Hugo?
Yeah, man. Well, again, I think I talked to you about it this morning, and he was just overmatched entirely. Like, he just, I mean, they made him stop the fight after the 7th round because he just didn't win a single round. He dropped
Right.
and went 4 times in that fight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess my next question is, what's next for can anyone beat Canelo? I mean, Jerry, was this your first time seeing Canelo fight?
First time ever, man. And
What did you think about him?
I
Like, that's
he was brutal. He was brutal.
yeah,
He
right.
was pretty brutal. His punches were extremely powerful and fast. He was hard to hit. He was elusive inside. And again, when you fight a taller guy, you got to get inside. And he was beautiful and brilliant how he was able to maneuver his way inside. And he was inside and he was slipping and moving and bang and he'd hit. But the thing with Smith, you know, Canelo would go in and he'd throw 1, 2, 3, and then Smith would that he wouldn't do anything. And you know, you can't stand there and bang with someone like Canelo. The guy's too powerful. Too damn powerful.
You got the Charlo brothers. You got Demetrius Andrade, who was there as well. Do you see these guys beating Canelo there, Manny?
I don't think so. I mean, Canelo has an answer for pretty much anyone, and he's, you know, like Jerry's saying, he's a powerful, powerful man, and you know, like that, you know, when a guy throws a punch and then you can't, you know, you throw a punch and you can't hit the guy because he's so elusive, yet you're getting punched back as you're throwing. Pretty soon, you're not going to be throwing punches, just like. You know, Liam Smith, even though he threw a few punches, he didn't have intent on those punches.
Yeah.
He was so cautious of getting hit back, right? And you know, like the Charlos, you know, they have never competed against a guy like a Canelo that could really crack like that or make them miss. So, I mean, like I said, you know, I believe it was 2013. So, what, 7 years ago, Canelo has learned so much since that Floyd Mayweather match. And he wouldn't be the boxer he is today had he not had that match because Floyd is a master of making you miss. And now Canelo has become a master of making you miss. Like that guy, he is one smooth operator. And I don't see the Charlos or Demetrius Andrade. No, not over 12 rounds, man. Maybe the first round until
Yeah.
Canelo gets his groove, and then it's all over.
He's
It's
probably
crazy.
one of the most powerful fighters I've ever seen. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, he's only 30 years old. He's got 54 wins now, I
That's his
guess.
54th win. Yeah.
Like, he's been
54th.
pro since he was 15. Like, how are you like just getting into your prime and you've got this much experience already? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see anyone beating this guy. You know?
I don't see it.
I don't
Yeah.
see it either.
Like, you fought Floyd at like 21.
Yeah.
That was so long ago.
I know.
Yeah. It's crazy.
There's a light heavyweight named Artur Beterbiev,
Oh,
who's
right.
a pretty spectacular light heavyweight that lives in Montreal, who's a Ukrainian dude, but he might have a chance just because he's got the size and the power, but I don't really see anyone else. I mean, look what he did to Kovalev. He just destroyed Kovalev.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's one tough hombre, and he appears to be living a clean life, so he's not going to go by the wayside like some of these other great fighters have done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you can see the fearlessness in his eyes as well.
oh yeah,
I mean, there was no fear in this guy's eyes. I mean, for him not to sit down during the round and to come out, and he just, oh man, there was just fearlessness that was pretty freaking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to just go on and just tag and just whoom, just like he was hitting a heavy bag. Just- yeah, and be able to move and just, be so elusive. He was, yeah, I was pretty damn impressed.
He's just
The guy's-
coming right at him the whole time
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Right, walked him down.
he
Jesus.
walked him down really good, and he's always like, if you watch that fight slow, you just watch how he sneaks his front foot in. He's always sneaking his front foot in, and he's always coiling his body so he can uncoil the other way, right? So it's just like a coil action. So he's coiling up, and then he uncoils because as he's slipping the punches, his trunk is coiling one way, and then it uncoils the other way, and he comes back with a hard shot. And he's got that so down packed. Like his body is so coordinated that it's not his arms punching, it's his whole body punching. Yeah, exactly.
It's
Just like
tiny
that,
to
doesn't
the
it?
body, man. He's
Exactly.
connected.
Isn't it just like that?
He's connected.
Yeah.
His whole body's connected.
From foot to head. Yeah, from his feet to his head, man. It turns, and he's learned his trade, and he's learned it well.
We got to give props to our boy Russ Anber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here are the eyes, man. Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, we were
I
looking
mean,
out for him.
Yeah.
It's too bad. I wanted Callum Smith to win just
So
to
did I.
for Russ.
I did
You know what I
too.
mean?
No, I did too, man. But
And
damn.
and I did even more when he walked into the ring and he had the word autism on the back of his jacket. I want this guy to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, he supports it big time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would have been nice, but damn, Canelo's fucking good.
He's
So where does Callum Smith go from here? Did we talk about that? Did you guys talk about that?
No,
back
we
to
didn't.
England.
I was listening to the after fight, and he was talking about probably going up to light heavyweight because he can fill out a little bit and go up to light heavyweight because he looks rather weak because Canelo was just walking through him, so maybe just he had to lose quite a bit of weight and he was maybe a bit dehydrated. Who knows? But he can fill out a little bit and become a light heavyweight, cruiserweight, maybe.
He took the fight only 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks notice he took this fight.
Yeah, that's what,
Yeah.
apparently he was training for another fight, and then they called him on this, and
Oh, okay.
that's what I heard. But still, the only 4 weeks to prepare for Canelo Alvarez is a big ask.
Oh man.
Yeah, and didn't he break? He broke the CompuBox record for most punches in
Jabs.
a fight.
Jabs.
Jabs,
800
just
jabs.
jabs. Yeah.
800 jabs. I'm like, where were they?
Yeah, I know
Uh-uh.
he wasn't using them,
Where were
man.
they?
But because Canelo wasn't letting him, because Canelo was countering him, right? And that takes so much out of you, man.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. But
Yeah, he was so much faster than Callum Smith.
yeah,
Yeah, he was. Just
Yeah.
speed kills, right? In any sport, though, you do hockey, basketball, anything. If you can make a move on a guy, like give him a little fake and go somewhere else and outspeed him, you're on top, man. It's the speed kills.